Hey everybody, welcome to the Hamakua Homestead. If you're new here, my name is Tiffany and today we are canning. Today we are processing quite a bit of corn. It was on sale at the grocery store, so I figured it was a great time to get it wrapped up into jars and put onto the pantry shelf. We are getting today's instructions from the Ball Book of Home Preserving. Now, of course, the first step is going to be to take the husks off of the corn. Then you are going to go ahead and use a serrated knife. You can use any knife, but a serrated knife makes it a lot easier. And you are going to use that to take the kernels off of the cob. You do want to make sure that you have your jars cleaned and ready to go. We're doing today's recipe in pint jars. I find that that is a very good serving size for anybody who wants to use corn. And if you have a lot of people over, you can always just open two. With 100 ears of corn, I have no idea how many pint jars that I'm gonna end up with, but according to Ball and the Complete Book of Home Preserving, it is about 4 ears of corn for a quart jar of corn. All right, so now that we have some of our corn ready to go into the jars, we're gonna go ahead and start that process. For corn, you definitely do not want to pack it down. We are going to do a loose pack. You can do this in many different ways. We're doing a raw pack method today, which means we're simply putting raw corn right into the jar without pre-cooking it or heating it up or doing anything else like that. The other way that you can do it is the hot pack method, and that is a whole different step before you put it into your jars. With that, you essentially are going to blanch them first to make sure everything is nice and hot going into the jars. This, everything is nice and cold going right into the jars. It is packed nice and loose. I didn't shake it down. I didn't try to compact it in any way. And we just go ahead and fill it up with water. We're going for a 1-inch headspace. Make sure you debubble. After you debubble, double check your headspace. Top it off if necessary. Wipe your rims to make sure there's no debris left on there at all. Even these little silky strings, they could interfere with your seal. So you want to make sure that there's none of those on there. Got your lid, your ring, fingertip tight. And these ones are ready to go in the canner. So that was only 2 jars. I'm hoping for 19. I'll probably get a little less than that because I am using a mixture between regular mouth and wide mouth jars. So we'll just see what fits in the canner when it's time. It's been a whole week since you drove, yeah? Now that our jars are filled up, it's time to get our canner going. You want to make sure that you have some sort of a rack or something underneath so that the jars are not directly on the bottom of the canner. I like to do about 3 inches of water, but you need to check your manufacturer's pamphlet for your canner to make sure you're filling it up to the right amount. You want to make sure that you're being safe. So once you have it turned on, you can go ahead and load up your jars. With All-American canners, you need to make sure that there is a nice amount of grease on here. Because we are dealing with metal on metal, you don't want there to be any problems. So you want to make sure that there's some sort of oil or grease around the edge there. You can use Vaseline, you can use tallow. I think this one is olive oil. And time to time, you want to make sure that you have some oil on your hinges as well, just to maintain the integrity of the machine. Then you line up your arrow right here with the line there. See how they line up after it's locked in place? Then you go ahead and start lifting up your wing nuts. I'm not tightening them down all the way just yet, because I want to make sure that one side isn't extremely higher than the other side. Same with front to back. Looks pretty good. So we're gonna go ahead and tighten them down. Crossways, you don't want to do it 1, 2, 3, 4, just like you would do with a tire, you do it opposite sides. I don't have the best grip in the world, so I like to come through with a rag and get it even a little bit more tight than I could without it. And that's it for right now. We're gonna go ahead and let this come up to heat, come up to pressure. I'll let you know when that happens. In the meantime, I'm gonna get this mess cleaned up and figure out what in the heck I'm gonna do with the rest of these 100 ears of corn. I still have plenty in this bowl. I still have about half of what I already shucked, plus another box. What you're looking for is for this vent pipe to be spewing out a steady stream of steam for 10 full minutes. And then once that's happened, you're gonna put your weight on there. You have to figure that out based on your elevation. I'm above 1,000 feet of sea level, so I use 15 pounds of pressure. And then once that starts jiggling around, then we'll go ahead and start our timer. Set your timer for 55 minutes. After your timer goes off, all you do is just simply turn off your stove and walk away. Don't help it come down from temperature in any way at all. Now that we've come all the way down from pressure, we are just going to go ahead and crack the lid. We don't want all of the heat to escape all at one time. And that's really all there is to it. We have 18 pints of our corn ready to go on the shelf. It took 43 ears of corn for these 18 pints. I highly recommend that you guys go ahead and give this one a try too. It is so easy and it is so nice to just have it on the pantry shelf ready to go anytime. And if you're a beginner, this is a great way to start. Thank you so much for joining me today on the Hamakua Homestead. I'll see you again soon.